Oh boy, it sure is hot here. Far out. So there's the mission for today. I'm going to go out and I'm going to turn this empty glass jar. It's quite a sweet jar. I've got a lid for it, of course, that's inside. And we're going to turn it into a terrarium. And I'm going to use only the ingredients that I can find from around my own yard right here. So first thing is some rocks to put under the substrate, and I've got these rocks here which were originally for a different plan for the garden. They're probably a bit large, but that looks like a fairly good quantity of rock. Let's go and put it in. It's a damn fine layer of drainage stuff to have in the bottom of the terrarium, but now what we need is some sort of a mesh to put on there to stop the soil and other materials from going down and just blocking up where all the rocks are. Now, apparently the go-to stuff, what my experts on YouTube tell me, is fly screen, but I don't have any fly screen. I've got next best. So what I've got for this is just this old piece of shade cloth. Select a patch of said material, like about here. There we go. Let's go. Put a piece of very valuable shade cloth down here. Cut him out to size according to the bottle. Not. Okay, so there we go. Now, one exclusion zone. Looks good to me. So, okay, the soil to go in can be anything like this stuff. This coming out of an old pot, of course. Got some decaying stuff in there. I don't know about little microbes or various bugs, but we'll see. So how did we go? We got enough? Might just go a bit more because it needs that for the, you know, for plants to root in and things like that. So we'll put some more in there. So for a bit more variation in the soil that we're going to use in the terrarium, we've been just tipping the leaves as they get raked up out of the garden into here. And so I'm guessing there should be quite a lot of decaying leaves and things getting down in amongst the bottom of this, and that's probably about right. I don't see any bugs in it though. So we can certainly get into a bit of this stuff though. Yeah, this looks about right. Okay, that looks all right, I guess. Okay, so we'll pop this next load in. Yeah, getting pretty deep now. That looks pretty good. So first thing I'm getting is some bugs to live in the soil. And I happen to know that bugs like to live under here. So what I've got to do is just move this feed bucket just a bit and see how many of those little fellas that I can catch before the chickens come and eat them all. Yep. Oh, not cockroaches though. Yep. Down here, under this hay bale, we've even fallen over a little millipede. How lucky is that? With another one. I hope it's another one, not two halves of another one. I think it's two halves. Bugger. Two more right here, they look pretty good. Oh, tons of them, tons of them, tons of them. Okay. Well, that's got our zoology started. While we're down here near the garden, we did have some asparagus attempting to be grown here. So I've just cut those. I'm going to have to sort of lop them off once they're in the terrarium and see if they'll sprout again once we've got the place all set up and running. So here we are back at the terrarium setup desk. Might be a bit much in there, I don't know. When I add all of our zoological creatures. So I've trimmed down our bits of asparagus and we'll just lob them in about here. They seem to have a fair amount of roots on them. Okay. In goes our bucket of zoology. Oh, there's definitely an abundance of bugs in there. There's a whole lot of bugs in there. Anyway, never mind. Now comes the next thing. Now for something special in this terrarium, my wife used to keep orchids, but this has been somewhat neglected and I've given this a bit of a haircut. Right or wrong, I don't know. But just remove some of the junk from it and we'll install this into the terrarium right about there. And if it can thrive after the neglect it's had, it'll thrive wonderfully well in here, I hope. Now, a couple of rocks, a little bit more soil that's actually got some other like clover-like plants and things in it, and we'll be nearly ready to go. So we'll go and get them. So this is the spot that I'm hoping I'm going to be able to just sneak out a bit of the soil carrying these little sprouts and put them in the terrarium as well as a kind of a starter thing. Oops. Okay. That should do us as a starter. Okay, so back to the bench. And we'll put what we think are a fairly big beetle just went in there. Let's see how good or otherwise he turns out to be. Well then, boys and girls, I think we're nearly ready. I'll put a couple of rocks in there. We'll go and find a couple of kind of beautiful rocks. Then I'll give you a closer look. So have a look in there. There's quite a lot of these little crawling creatures. So that could well be a bit overpopulated there, but I guess they'll adjust their own population to suit the environment, the food supply or whatever. Time will tell. Let's go get some rocks. Okay, so here's our harvest of rocks. Got some fairly nice, good sized gibbers here. Got this one here rather reminiscent of Ayers Rock. So of course that has to get a pride of place in the old, yeah. Long live the Orchid Terrarium. So, we're taking this inside, clean up a bit of dirt, spray a little bit of water, seal it up, come back in a month. This little walk around and a view down in the top. So it's a thing of great beauty. So now, and so that's my terrarium as I have it set up right here on day one. So there.